3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Beauty Birds podcast. Tara and Beka here to have drinks, talk about shit we like, and remind you to continue staying the fuck home.
For sure. Before we dive into today's topic, what are you drinking and what's on your face?
I don't know if you can see for those of you watching, but I woke up with a cut under my eye the other day. I think I just caught myself with my nail, so I'm really not wearing a ton of makeup today. However, I did whip out an old favorite. The name is terrible. It's the Marc Jacobs Air Blush Soft Glow Duo in the shade Flesh and Fantasy.
Oh, goodness.
The name is terrible, but it looks like this. It's like a striped blush, and there's kind of a slightly sparkly nude and then like a more, I don't know, they both kind of have some shimmer to them, but it's more like a satin finish.
Yeah.
But there's like a dark mauve and a like golden shade. Anyway, it's a really beautiful blush that I haven't worn in a long time. And because of our topic today, I thought I'd whip out an oldie but a goodie. And I'm drinking Baby Blue, which is a Texas blue corn whiskey with ginger beer, actually Caldera ginger beer, which is from Oregon, and a couple of marinated cherries.
Goodness, you are so fancy.
It took me like 2 seconds.
Well, I'm back at it again with my natties.
I bet it would be great with my cherries.
It probably would be. I imagine everything would taste better with those cherries.
What flavor is it?
Aloha Beaches.
What's the take? Does it taste like the beach?
Sure, yeah. It kind of tastes like mango, and it claims to be mango and peach, but hold on, let me see what the notes are. Yeah, it tastes like a $2 seltzer.
I'm okay with it.
And then on my face, I went all out with my eyes. And it's like
great.
Thanks. It's an array of Sugar Pill, Love Plus, and Fun Size, as always. So I didn't even bother bringing that to the conversation until whatever. But on my lips is my favorite lipstick of all time that isn't a liquid lipstick, and it is the Wet n Wild Vamp It Up, which is still available on their website.
I don't think I realized when you said it that it wasn't a liquid lipstick. Are you allowed to have a favorite that's not a liquid lipstick? I don't think that we are.
I'm allowed to have a select few of non-liquid lipstick favors, and I don't wear them that often. But this is I've been using this one since college, and I love it so much.
I don't know if I have a non-liquid lipstick favorite. I have a handful that I wear.
Okay.
No, that's not true. I have one. It's basically the same color as the lipstick I'm wearing now.
Oh, wow.
Melt Bang Bang is a great
lipstick. That's a good one. They're not liquid lipstick. Their regular lipstick formula is very good.
I think some of the older, original ones were really dry.
Yeah.
And they have since, tweaked it, and it's quite good.
Okay. Yeah.
It almost makes up for the nonsense that they're putting out right now. I'm really, I wish they would put the effort into a new stack that they're putting into releasing bowls and grinders for 420.
I told you that if it was something interesting, I would eat my fucking socks. And you know what? I don't have to eat them because it wasn't something interesting.
I'm so sad.
I'm so angry. This could have been the opportunity. All I want is a olive melt stack. And you know what? 420 could have been it, because when you think of
they could have nailed it.
I'm so angry. And
on their Q&A on Instagram, somebody was like, "Are you guys done making stacks?" And they were like, "Never." I'm like, okay,
so do it.
Where are they at? Anyway, I digress. What are we talking about today?
God, I don't even remember.
Oh no, we already went over what you're drinking.
We are doing the consumer tag, which was started on YouTube by 90s LoveChild, and I've seen it circulating through the YouTubers that I watch, and I know you've seen a couple of videos as well.
Yeah, I think what's Spooky Lips and Fat Hips, she did it. That's how I came across it, and then I realized somebody else started it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. We've talked about consumerism and being an educated consumer a little bit before. I know it's something we want to talk about more in the future, so I thought this was a good.
And you have a really informal, not informal, you have a really good blog post up on our website.
Thanks. Were you trying to say informative?
Yeah.
Brush myself off here. Yes, there is a blog post on beautybirdspodcast.com about educated consumerism that I actually wrote a couple years ago for my now mostly defunct blog, Makeup Nerdery. But I know that's a topic that we'd like to build on and continue talking about. And so I just thought that this tag was kind of a good way to start dipping our feet in that direction.
For sure, because I feel like we both came into the makeup world like with a bang and have since refined our taste and
yeah, like full
really
on, like
chilled the
guns
fuck out.
blazing. Just yeah, I did a bit of a deep dive just to roast myself in some of these questions, and yeah, things look very different than they did when I like first got super into makeup.
I would also like to note that I didn't do a deep dive because I don't need that kind of energy in my life right now to think of all the money that I could have saved and all the things that I never used.
So should we start with the first question then?
Yeah.
On that note, so the first question is, how much do you spend on makeup in a month and in a year?
Do you want to go first? You have charts and like science and like evidence. Exhibit A.
Okay, this was totally unnecessary. I just, out of sheer curiosity, I mean, like, I've been in my house for like 6 weeks now. It's just like, cool. Let me look into this. I use an app called Mint to like track all my finance stuff, and I'm kind of in the process, courtesy of Bravely, at We Bravely Go on Instagram, trying to just like be better about finance. My goals for the year I have written down in a notebook are investing, fermenting, and how to bake pie.
Wow.
Making pie from scratch were my like 3 things for this year. So I've been working on the money stuff, and I just was really curious. So I sorted my transaction history specifically for Sephora and wanted to compare how much I spent in 2019 compared to 2016, which was my guess for like the year that I went balls to the wall, guns blazing. Like, I went as hard as one could reasonably, completely unreasonably go.
Right,
I was
you just did
correct.
like a trust fall into
2016
makeup.
was the crazy year. Before I get into the actual numbers, I do want to note I have cut my makeup spending almost in half. And I told my mom this, and she was like, well, it's because you already have everything. I'm like, but like, makeup expires. And my like average purchase amount and my minimum and maximum purchases like within the year have stayed pretty much the same.
Okay.
So I really am just buying less.
Right.
Like, I'm still buying kind of the same types of products and around the same cost for the most part.
Okay.
I'm just buying a lot less of it, which I thought was fascinating. I'm like nervous to say these numbers out loud.
Do it.
In 2016, I spent $2,762.52 at Sephora. I will note that does not count. I didn't factor in any returns, of which like
Okay.
I think I'm pretty good at returning and selling things that I am not using and that I don't like. And I also didn't factor out anything that was purchased as a gift. And when I first was getting really into makeup, I was also buying a lot of makeup as my gifts for friends that year.
Yeah.
So this is like absolutely everything, not gifts and returns, not calculated into that number.
Now, did you only shop at Sephora when you first started getting into makeup?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I actually checked because that was also the year that I started buying from Melt.
Mm-hmm.
I have 7 Melt transactions total, like from 2016 through now.
Oh, okay. I was going to say for the year, like shit.
No, but 3 of the 7 were in 2016.
Okay.
And the other 4 are 2017 to 2020.
Averaging 1 Melt purchase a year. I respect that.
Now they're at Sephora as of last year too. But yeah, no, I didn't look into Ulta and I didn't look into any indie brands. So this is just Sephora. But that's the bulk of where I do most of my shopping, because it's where I get most of my skincare too.
Yeah, you also don't do what I do, which is the impulse shopping in the drugstore, where you're just like, you know what, I'm going to try this. I never even heard of it. I wasn't on my radar. I'm going to try it.
Almost never.
Yeah, that is my pitfall.
I almost never buy makeup at the drugstore. And even like in Ulta, because sometimes I'll go in just to get like if I need shampoo or something.
Yeah.
The only impulse buys that I was ever really making there were nail polish.
Yeah.
And if you go back and listen to episode 7, Claws, you'll know I've gotten really into indie nail polishes, so I'm not even really doing that anymore either.
Right.
I will pride myself, I don't do a lot of impulse buys.
Okay.
Like, I research things obsessively, as you'll know if you listen to the previous episode about skincare.
I do know.
Well, for the people listening. But my impulse buys work as such in that, like, I will obsessively research things and I will have them in my cart. And then, like, I might make an impulse of when I buy those things, but I'm not often just randomly buying something that, like, I didn't do any research on.
Yeah, me neither. That's like so weird.
Anyway, as of 2019, I spent a little over $100 a month on makeup and skincare.
Okay.
It averaged out to that. In 2016, I had 54 transactions at Sephora, and in 2018, 2019. Wait, did I write my numbers wrong? Anyway, in 2019, it was 28. So literally half as many purchases.
I respect that.
Anyway, how much are you spending? Do you know? In a month? In
Yeah,
a
so
year?
I can give you a definite for what I spend now and within the past like 3 or so years, because when Devin and I purchased our first house together, um, him and his dad were so kind to make a spreadsheet for us. That was line to line every single dollar that we made combined, and
Wow.
listed out per category how much money we have per week, per month for everything that we could want to buy, and free spending money for just like funsies for the two of us was about back when we lived in New Jersey, it was $400 a month. But that's for
Total.
anything. That's not just like makeup and skincare related. And then here for anything, it's $200 a month. So cut in half in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Plus baby.
Yeah, exactly. Plus baby, plus I don't work full time anymore. So there are a lot of changes. But I can tell you right now that back in like 2016, 17, the bulk of that money went towards makeup and skincare. Whereas now with it being halved and kind of reaching that same point where you are, where you like tried it all and now know like what you enjoy more. I have not purchased a skincare or makeup item in a very long time that wasn't a replacement.
I think I've been, well, I think also like 2016 at the height of like spending and buying, a lot of it was like, this is really popular, this is super hype.
Yeah.
And I don't really shop like that anymore.
Right.
But I do like makeup. I do buy makeup. I probably buy a handful of lipsticks a year, an eyeshadow palette or two. I would say the bulk of what I buy is probably skincare now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the bulk of it is. Honestly, it's just like
And
things
nail
that
polish.
I don't buy it.
Well, last year it was nail polish.
Yeah, I don't really buy much makeup. I think the bulk of what I invest in are eyeshadows, whether that's like liquid shadows that I think are really unique looking, like Super Shocks, or just like shifty shadows. I like duochromes. I like multichromes, colorful shadows, palettes, things like that. But I saw a comment on Reddit one time that was like, oh yeah, this is exactly how I feel about it. Someone was like, oh yeah, I'm not on a no buy, I'm on a can't buy. And I kind of feel the same way, where it's like, I don't know how people are buying like 5 new releases in a month. I can afford to buy like 1 or 2 if I wanted to dedicate all of my free spending money to makeup and beauty, where like I want to buy like art supplies. I want to buy, things to craft. I want to buy things to play with, drink. I don't know. Like there's just so
clothing, shoes, whatever.
Yeah, there's just so many other things. Like I love hats. I like to buy
nice
hats.
handbag.
I don't really buy it. I don't buy bags.
I barely buy clothes and shoes. I don't buy hats. I love my lipstick and I love a handbag.
Yeah. I like eyeshadow and I like a good hat. So a lot of my money just goes towards other things now. But I can tell you for sure that I always reach either Platinum and Ulta or VIB. No. What's the entry level Sephora one?
BI is like whatever from the beginning.
Yeah.
VIB is I think $350 a year.
That is the one that I reached last year. And I can tell you for certain for 2019, I reached VIB. So I spent $350 at Sephora. And my Ulta purchases, because they show you now on the app, there's like a little chart,
Yeah.
were $77.
Wow.
So for the year, I was under. I definitely bought like a couple of things drugstore here and there, but like I would say under 500 for the year.
I also buy all of my like sunscreen and shampoo and conditioner and most of my body wash at Ulta or Sephora also.
Same.
Damn. Okay. On that note, question number 2, do you ever feel guilty about how much you spend on makeup? I'm going to say makeup, skincare, beauty, all of it, not just cosmetics.
I used to, and I really feel a lot better about my purchases now that I've kind of like refined my taste, because what I felt bad about wasn't so much how much I spent on it, it was how much I spent on it and then didn't use it.
Okay, I get that. See, I feel like I don't do that often. And like the products I have that I'm not using, it's like a very seasonal, cyclical thing. I've definitely struggled with guilt and spending on makeup before. Nick and I are in pretty wildly different income brackets. And especially like in the past, when we first moved to Oregon, like we were already in Oregon when I got really into makeup. And I really struggled feeling like I deserved to have an item that I wanted, because for us to split everything 50-50, like put me in a very different situation than it put Nick at the time.
Right.
I kind of got over it recently, when I realized I was spending a lot less than I used to. And I'm really, for the most part, buying things as a replacement. Like even I just did an order today in the Sephora sale, but the 2 expensive skincare items that I bought, A, are 20% off, and B, are replacements for products that I'm low on. So even though they're like a new thing, it's one in, I'm kind of trying to do one in, one out.
Yeah.
B, I like to think that Nick and I are pretty open and honest about that spending. Like I'm not hiding those things. I'm not being secretive about them. And he's usually like, he'll call me out and be like, okay, that's ridiculous. But oftentimes he'll be like, no, just like buy the thing.
Right.
And also Nick bought a new motorcycle last year, like a brand new one. And Nick, bikes and cars are kind of his thing. Like there's a lot of wheels in our house.
Hobby.
Do you know how much makeup I could buy for the price of a new KTM? So I've really kind of calmed down. Right now it's scary because we moved. I left my job to move, and then obviously the novel coronavirus happened. And so in terms of full-time employment, not really happening right now.
Yeah.
And still Nick was like, it's the sale. You literally like, there's 2 a year. This is when you buy the bulk of your skincare.
Right,
I would say that's the other thing with my spending, even though like I calculated my average monthly and my average purchase cost, but I would say the bulk of that spending is April sale, November sale.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
Like I'm buying a lot less in between.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely have struggled with guilt in the past, but I think a lot more of that is income inequality between Nick and myself. Not so much that like, I don't know, not for other reasons, I guess.
Okay. Do you ever get FOMO related to makeup releases?
That's the fear of missing out for grandparents or parents that are listening. Less now.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at like mentally going through what I have. Like a lot of the times that pop of color in a neutral eyeshadow palette will get you.
Yeah.
And then I thought you were telling me,
that was me.
Tara wiped her teeth. I thought she was telling me I had lipstick on my teeth, but no. I like when you see like new eyeshadow palettes online and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's so beautiful. But then you look at swatches. I've gotten quite good at being like, okay, I literally have something, or like I don't actually like these colors, or it's a
Yeah.
thing I've gotten good at admitting to. I also like research things quite a lot, as we talked about. And um I don't know, I'm not really buying things because they're hyped up anymore.
Same.
There's not a lot of stuff that I'm missing out on that I really, really want. And the most hyped products are not usually what I'm most interested in.
Right.
The only thing that I like to this day kind of have some FOMO is the original Urban Decay Electric palette.
Oh, I love it.
But also, like, I had so many opportunities to buy it. And every time
Right.
I went and looked at swatches, it wasn't quite right. And
No,
now
and
that I can't buy it, I'm like, oh, but like, I wouldn't use it.
no, and there's so many other bright palettes out there now.
And I have like half of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not missing out on it because I have it and I have other bright palettes and like honestly I find myself reaching for like the sugar pill ones and even some of the like the lime crime shadows from their Venus palettes are brighter, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a grungy bright, I guess. And I find myself reaching for I would say anything but the Urban Decay Electric palette, but I still do reach for it here and there. But they're easily replaceable shades. Like the things that I reach for are like the blues, um, really just the blues in there because I don't have like a bright blue.
I would, first of all, like 90% of my eyeshadow is Sugar Pill, Huda, or Melt.
Yeah,
And I have something bright and neon from every single one of them.
exactly.
Are you still getting some FOMO on any new releases?
Um, here and there, but not enough to ever make me want to buy it. Like I said, it's more of like a can't buy than like a no buy, where eventually I kind of just forget about it, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, there's nothing out, like if there's something that I so want that badly,
Yeah,
I usually just get it. And
exactly.
as you yourself experienced, you wanted that Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette so bad,
Uh,
and you bought it, and then you're like, oh, well, then you returned it.
yeah, I had previously bought the Mothership 5 palette and I really wanted the duochrome shift shade in there, which if you know me, just like
That's
I have
you
a
in an eyeshadow.
I have a thing for duochromes and multichromes, and it really was truly it was like wonderful. It was a spectacular color, but after I got it, I was like, I just spent $125 to enjoy this one shade and kind of like the ones around it, so I ended up returning it. But yeah, I think that actually ended up teaching me a lesson about wanting something that's hyped up, and I don't really fall for it that often anymore.
I had that experience a couple years ago, probably at the height of spending, maybe even before that, like maybe it was 2015. I don't remember when it first came out. Urban Decay Naked 3.
Mm,
I wanted that stupid pink palette
yeah,
so badly. And I think it was like $54, which at
yeah,
the time was just, I mean, it's still an
it's still a lot of
astronomical amount of
money.
money for eyeshadow. But now it's like kind of mid range pricing. But then it was like, I'm sorry, you want how much?
Yeah.
And I bought it with Nick's encouragement. And I used it for like 3 days. And I was like, everything looks like I just have a bruise. It all just looks like I have a black eye. And I
Yeah.
returned it. And so that kind of was like, I don't know, as I've learned more what suits me, the super exciting things, like all the hype is not usually in line with like what I'm buying.
I agree. It's kind of like the curtain was ripped down from like all of the hype once you figure out what works for you and what you actually use. I originally had that with ColourPop where I was like, "Oh, I think I need everything ColourPop puts out," but like I don't. I don't. Even those like colorful palettes, the monochrome ones were so tempting at first, but then it's just like, do I need an entire palette of blue? No, I have this one shade that's a bright blue and like I have a light blue and then that kind of covers my blue bases.
I think that's why, like, that's how I feel about a lot of those, like, neutral palette with a pop of color, is that the neutrals, like, you need like two of them. You don't need
Yeah,
14 of them and then like a glitter and a blue. Like, that's not a functional thing. I think this is funny because it brings us to question 4, which I think is for me is related. Is do you purchase or keep items simply because they're limited edition?
I don't anymore. I definitely used to,
Mm-hmm.
but ever since I went on my like minimalist rampage, I've been like, I want to say forcing myself to get rid of things that I don't use that were limited edition. That was like, I don't care if I like the packaging, or like I've been getting rid of things that are limited edition, or finding a way to repurpose the packaging.
Ooh, like what?
The Lime Crime Venus palettes. I'll post a picture of it if I can find it. So I gutted the palettes, depotted them because they are cardboard, put a
Oh, I think
magnetic
we posted a picture of they're depotted in our most recent Instagram picture.
yeah, that actually is right there. Gutted the palette, put a magnetic sheet on the bottom, and turned it into kind of like a makeshift Z palette
Oh,
to
cool.
keep the packaging. That's not like limited edition or anything, but that was like the 2 palettes took up way too much space, and I couldn't just get rid of them and throw them in like a regular generic Z palette kind of situation.
I a couple years ago, trying to remember when, but I set a rule for myself that I don't buy anything limited edition anymore.
Yeah.
I think this must have been back in the height of Tarte. I bought one of their like holiday blush palettes,
Ooh.
and there was one shade in particular that I loved. I tore apart the whole palette just for this one shade, and I basically sold or got rid of all the other shades. I think I probably gave some to my sister. She might still have them. But then I couldn't buy it again.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember if this was before or after, but the Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca remix palette before we knew she was a Nazi. It was limited edition, and then it was gone. I think I sold it for at least what I bought it for.
Okay.
Plus shipping.
Nice.
I don't know. I think after that I was like, I'm not buying things limited edition anymore.
Yeah, that one was actually my white whale for a while.
I thought you had it.
I got it way after the fact.
Oh, right.
And ended up, that was my white whale that kind of put me in the stop buying limited edition shit, because I wanted it because it was limited edition. I thought it would be perfect, and when I got it I was like, oh, this isn't perfect. And I spent so long chasing this that like I wasted time and money.
I know this kind of goes into the next question also of would you be willing to pay more money for a sold out product online? But I think that like specifically has to be about limited edition products.
Yeah.
And I just completely lost my train of thought.
I'll pick up the question though.
Yeah.
Okay. So will I spend more money? I almost did recently. And like, this is after curbing my spending and like kind of getting everything under like a handle and being like, I know what I like, I know what I want. Remember the Dose of Colors Desi and Katie palette?
I bought one of the lipsticks.
Oh, I have the gloss. It's really nice.
The lipstick was terrible. Oh, I remember what I was going to say
now. I'll be quick then. The 4-pan quad, the like original one they did, I wanted the colors in it more so than the fact that it was like a collaboration with them. I just thought they were really beautiful. I almost paid extra for it for like a brand new in box kind of deal on, I think it was like Reddit or Poshmark or somewhere, and kind of just stopped myself and was like, cool your jets, you don't need this.
Yeah. I think one of the things, and Dose of Colors is a great example. I really like that brand. Their liquid lipsticks are to this day one of my favorites.
Yeah.
A lot of the times limited edition products are not as high quality as their regular line because it's a limited run, especially if it's like holiday season. And I've now bought 2 or 3 limited edition liquid lipsticks from Dose of Colors, and they're always crap.
Really?
The formula is definitely not the same.
That's a bummer.
I think I bought the Hot Fire liquid lipstick, part of Desi Katie, and I didn't really care. I mean, good for them. Good
for them.
Katie, but like that wasn't the appeal. It was just
they happened to come up with really good color combos.
It was a bright orange liquid lipstick. Wow.
Yeah.
So out of the ordinary for me. But the formula was crap. And like Too Faced notoriously always dropped in quality for limited edition. yeah, I just, all of that stuff over time was like, okay, stop buying limited edition. And the only reason that anybody, I think, would pay more for a sold out product is because it was limited edition.
Yeah.
But then if also the quality is lower, why?
Yeah, it's just not something that is a good habit in my opinion. Just because I feel like once you actually get it, it was more of like the chase of the product that you wanted. And
Absolutely.
then once you finally have it in your hands, it's kind of just like no matter how great it is, it's going to be a little disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you wish you could spend more or less?
I wish that I could spend a little more. Only because there are so many things that are on like a wish list of mine to try to this day that like I wish I could try and like if I always want to say if I had the money to I would, but I have the money, I just never seem to spend it on that. So like every month when we do our budgeting and like I have my expendable money to spend, like I said, I've been dying for an olive palette for a while.
Yeah, you've been
It's
talking
been
about it
months.
forever.
I never put it at the top of my list. So like, do I wish I had more money to spend on makeup? Kinda, but I also feel like if I had more, I might just buy more other shit. Like I don't know that I would actually buy the products that have been on my forever wish list. So I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that other than if you give me more money, I'm gonna keep buying stupid shit.
I wish I mean, ultimately I would like to spend less per year on makeup
Yeah.
and skincare, but I wish that money wasn't the barrier when I did choose to buy
Yes.
something. Like there's some skincare out there that's quite expensive and also like scientifically backed in like being good that I would love to try.
Yeah.
And I hate that like the cost of the product is what keeps me from buying it.
Right.
But ultimately, like across a year of spending, I would like to spend less on makeup.
I would like to spend less. I think I already spend less.
Yes.
Like I don't really buy much makeup at all. So yeah, I think I'm okay with what I'm doing now and I wouldn't mind spending more.
What are you spending your like fun money on? What did you buy last month?
I don't even know. Like I didn't buy any makeup or skincare, that's for sure. I feel like I bought
Clothes,
like
shoes, enamel pins?
I've definitely bought some pins. I don't think I bought shoes. I'm trying to think what I bought. You know what I end up buying a lot with my money? Um, Design stuff. Like I'll buy fonts, I'll buy Lightroom presets.
Yeah, I don't spend money on any of that.
Yeah, so like a lot of my funds go back into uh I run an invitation business for weddings and do like stationery and things like that. And a lot of my money honestly just goes into that and like I truly at the end of the day have a phenomenal time designing. So like I'm okay spending $50 on a font or like
Whoa.
oh yeah, there's some really pretty fonts out there.
$50 for a font?
Oh my god, yeah. So
Damn.
like I know. So like at the end of the day, I'm fine spending my budgeted fun money on design resources that could be used for both work and like me designing for fun, I guess.
Okay.
So
Fair
that's kind
enough.
of where my money goes. I don't know. I don't know where it goes. It evaporates because I have a Marshall and I blink and some of it's gone and sometimes he's wearing ridiculous onesies that we definitely didn't need and I'm just like I don't know how we got this one that has pickles all over it because we live in Pittsburgh. Boy, that's funny.
Pickles are great. But he also
Mhm.
has like my first Easter, which like now what are you gonna do?
Exactly. So that's where my money goes. I black out and there's things around me. How about you?
Books,
Hmm.
makeup and skincare. Um
You buy
weird
a lot of kitchen shit.
yeah. Well, we kind of like in March, April, like while we've been quarantined, have kind of made some upgrades, but like it's not regularly quite that extravagant. By the way, we made wings in our new we got like a toaster oven with an air fryer in it.
Is
It's
it better than the
amazing.
air
Oh
fryer?
my god, it's so good. First of all, they all fit in a flat layer, so I didn't have to keep shaking the thing every 7 minutes.
That is a bummer.
They were amazing. They were fantastic.
So would you recommend it like over the air fryer?
Um, if you like to cook, yes.
Does it
If
dehydrate?
Yep,
Hmm.
and can slow cook apparently, but I haven't tested that out yet.
Hmm.
It does take up quite a bit of counter space though.
Yeah, it does. But so does the air fryer. It's big and ugly.
Yeah, that's the thing is like we kind of got sick of having a single function item.
Yeah,
If you have a great oven, don't waste your time. Our oven in this rental is crap.
same.
Yes, Breville, I think it's called the Smart Oven with air fryer. Anyway, Nick bought that, so um but like in terms of fun, like frivolous spending, books, cookbooks. I did recently buy some new gym clothes because I got to size down in some things. And makeup and skincare. And like really mostly skincare.
Yeah.
I've realized that like I'm really buying makeup pretty rarely anymore.
I don't want to say you have it all, but like you have what you've perfected for you. Like you have everything that looks amazing on you.
Well, thanks. I
You're welcome.
actually did sell and destash a bunch of stuff last year. I think a lot of that was like Oregon depression and like wanting to leave. And then I ended up actually buying like the Melt Gemini palette again.
Yeah.
Cause like just because I didn't use it in the height of summer doesn't mean I'm never using it again.
Yeah.
Whereas like come September to February, I use it all the time. So I own a lot, but I'm also pretty on point of selling and destashing and giving
Mhm.
away things that I'm not using.
You know what I wish I had more money for? I think I'm like circling back to the question before this one. Um, Liquid shadows that are like 24 fucking dollars. Remember we were talking about the Stila?
I think it's steel.
The Stila liquid eyeshadows? Like it is such bullshit that one color is $24.
That's crazy.
And like they're like things like that are the things that I wish I had the income to try. Like the hourglass scattered lights? Scattered light.
Scattered, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, no,
those have been those and the Marc Jacobs ones have been on my list forever.
I
And
have one of the
then,
Marc Jacob ones.
oh, do you love it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Right.
A little bit of fallout, but like I don't mind fallout with glitter
I
shadow.
always do my eyes first so that I can clean up the fallout before I do my
It's
face.
more of like a throughout the day kind of fallout. Mm,
No, we wouldn't get along.
okay. But yeah, like that's the kind of shit where it's like I wish it wasn't $24 because I'm not buying more than one or two of those a year.
Yeah.
And like would I love to try four different colors? Yeah, you fucking betcha I would, but like I just can't.
Nick was like, yes, you should buy yourself things in the Sephora sale. And I was like, I'm going to go nuts and just see how crazy my cart gets. No. I was like, I can buy whatever.
Yeah.
Nope. Not a single eyeshadow palette, nothing. I bought skincare, two KVD Vegan Beauty lip line or eyeliners. No, they're lip liners that were on sale for $8 because I like them as my eyeliners. And I bought a new brow product. That was it.
Excited for you.
That was literally all I bought. I mean, it was a lot of money, but like I could have bought a Pat McGrath highlighting palette for $54. Nope.
I have it. It's great.
I know. We talked about it. Okay. Speaking of which, do you feel compelled to buy something when you see it in someone else's collection? For me, clearly not.
No, I don't. Honestly, it's like I feel like past me might have in like 2014, seeing like a Kathleen Lights video where she does her collection. I would have been like, wow, I wish I had that collection. But now it's more like me browsing on Sephora where like I somehow end up in the hourglass section. I'm like, wow, scattered lights. Those swatches look really nice. Like I wish I could try all these.
I think a lot of the times, particularly with like YouTubers, influencers, social media people, they were the ones where like they would hype up a product.
Hmm.
But now also, as per skincare previous episode rather, for those of you that haven't listened to it yet, I will check the ingredients of what they're telling me
Hmm.
to buy and what they're hyping. And most of the time it doesn't cut it for me.
Yeah. I don't want to say we're immune to beauty gurus nowadays, like not we as in me and you, but like we as in like the population. But I just don't know if they sell products the way they used to.
I think that they do. I just don't. I think we've aged out of their 18 to 24 target market.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm a lot more like research forward and like thinking critically about what I'm buying before I'm buying it, even though I'm still obviously like clearly spending a ton of money.
Yeah.
Do you buy more during the holidays? Question 8. I do, but only because things are typically on sale, or I have like a coupon, or I have 20% off, or whatever.
Yeah, I only do if it's on like if it's something I wanted that's on sale. Also, a lot of people that know me that get me gifts for the holidays end up getting me like Sephora or Ulta gift cards. So I guess it's more of like an after the holidays spend
Yeah.
curve for me. Because the one thing that I am not immune to, like no matter how much I try and like how refined my budget is and my purchasing habits, if you give me a gift card, I'm gonna spend it on some shit that I wasn't interested in 5 minutes ago.
I think the only reason I buy more, well, not during the holidays, but like Black Friday, Cyber Monday,
Yeah.
usually. But also, typically buying gifts for people. I'm usually getting something for my sister, my mom, and Nick's mom, and
Yeah.
my best friend. And if I have 20% off, if I have a coupon or whatever, I mean, I usually like super restock skincare. That's typically the main thing that I do with like big Sephora coupons is like my cleanser and my moisturizer, whatever. Like I'll buy backups of that. There's a bug.
Oh no.
Get out of my house. Okay. Oh God, it's a spider. Please hold. It's tiny, but still. Ah. It is no longer a spider. Okay. Question number 9. Have you ever hidden a makeup purchase from family or friends? I don't know how they mean that. Like as a gift? I'm guessing that's not what it means.
No, I think they mean like, have you ever purchased something and been like, oh shit, let me get to the mail before Nick gets home?
Maybe like super back in the day,
I have.
but like more feeling like guilt and like I don't deserve something rather than like, oh, I did something bad. I really hate there's a lot of like stuff on TikTok of like hiding things. Like, am I right, ladies? Like hide your stuff before your husband gets home, or like
Or
don't be suspicious. Don't
there's
be
like a meme that I've seen where it's like for $5 more, we'll make it look like this is something else, or like that you didn't buy this, or it wasn't this much money, or something like that. I'll try to find it.
I
It's
really
dumb.
hate those things.
Yeah, I've definitely had a couple of things sent to my work. But like back in the day, this isn't like recent because my work is my home.
Yeah, I think if you're like actively hiding purchases, like that's when you really need to reevaluate if you maybe have a spending problem.
Yeah, and this definitely was like during the height of like me buying way too much makeup.
Yeah.
So like that
It's
is something that I've not done in like a
crazy
very,
to
very
me
long
to think
time.
about. Like I made a lot less money in 2016 than I did in 2019.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like paying loans. I didn't have as many bills. Craziness.
So yeah, I've done it, but I don't do it anymore.
We do not recommend doing that.
No, it's if you're doing that, take a step back and like
Yeah,
look
like
at
your
your spending.
relationship is not worth like the new whoever lipstick happened.
Yeah.
Don't lie about that shit. Do you have more than 10 products in your collection that you have not used in over a month?
Okay, wait, that question's so not fair because we're on a quarantine and like honestly, I barely wear pants.
What are jeans?
Right. Every once in a while, just throw those on, make sure they still fit.
Yes, a quarantine, self-isolation, whatever the correct word is. B, major like depressive episode before we left Oregon. And like also I don't have a full-time job here yet. And so like
Yeah.
I've been home during the day. And also as a third thing is seasonal. I definitely
Yeah.
have darker colors and more like like mustards and like deeper shades that I'm not wearing in, May.
Yeah.
I'm wearing those in like October. I typically give myself like the full, if I don't wear it in the winter or the summer, then I'll get rid of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like you said, when I worked in an office, I definitely rotated through my eyeshadows and things like that a lot more. Now that I work from home, stay at home, and like this is even before, I would say since we moved to Pittsburgh, I use a lot of my like makeup less, but skincare just as much, just because I like to rotate through my products. So yeah, I definitely have stuff that I don't use that often. But if I find that I don't keep things that I definitely don't use. So like if I find that I haven't used it in a very long time, I would say more than a month, it gets the chopping block. Like my collection is not that big at all. It's nowhere near the size of yours. And it's like,
Shots fired.
well, no, you have a lot more to play with, and you buy more stuff than I do, but you're also more adventurous and do more fun stuff than I do.
Do I?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks. That
Like,
almost makes me feel better that my mom is going to hear this.
yeah. I also have like a destashing problem where like I like to get rid of a lot of my shit. So like,
I did a lot of that last year, and then I ended up like regretting some of the things. So I've
yeah.
really slowed down. Like I definitely have some lipsticks I haven't touched in a while. I also probably have some lipsticks that are like 4 years old at this point.
Oh,
But
I
like
have
liquid lipsticks?
some old shit, Becca.
Liquid lipsticks?
Oh yeah, I've got some old shit.
Okay, okay. Um, I think like come end of 2020, if we survive, I definitely will have some things to destash if haven't used them.
Yeah.
But I'm typically trying to give myself a little bit more time just because I did get rid of a lot of things last year that like later I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that.
I agree. I have like a small enough
Depression is not a
collection.
good reason to give stuff away.
No. But yeah, I have a small enough collection that if I don't rotate through stuff, then it's just because I don't want to wear it and it's got to go.
I think I'm getting to that point of like there's things
Mm-hmm.
that I have that I really loved, but I'm literally never using anymore. Like I have some Makeup Forever singles. But then like on the other hand, this is fantastic for work.
Oh, that looks really pretty actually.
This is a darker shade than this one.
Those look like really pretty blushes.
This one actually is a blush.
But
Like I haven't touched them in ages, but like when I was in the office all the time, that was like what I grabbed every day.
yeah, that's the same problem that I'm experiencing with a lot of stuff. And like I'm not ready to get rid of it because I know I like it. I just don't need it right now.
I also don't know what a year in Texas looks like yet, so I've been pretty hesitant to destash anything right now.
Have you ever been pressured to purchase something you could not afford or did not need?
Not pressured like for real, but definitely encouraged by YouTubers mostly.
Yeah.
Definitely got into some expensive skincare very quickly. Charlotte Tilbury, I've definitely bought. When I think about how expensive her lipsticks are now, I'm like, I can't believe I ever bought 2 of them.
Yeah, they're like Pat McGrath level. They're more than Pat McGrath. Are they more than Pat McGrath?
How much are Pat McGrath lipsticks?
I want to say like 25.
Oh yeah, they're way more.
Oh, fuck. All right.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
Are they like 32? That feels
they're
like
like
a 30.
38.
Jeez, I was gonna say it feels like a $32 lipstick.
Okay, Pat McGrath Matte Trance, 38.
Oh wow, I was way off. 25. Huh.
Charlotte Tilbury, 34.
Oh, okay. So they are like kind of Pat McGrath comparable.
Yeah. I actually have a Pat McGrath one also.
I really want one. Oh.
Wait, ready? This shade is gonna shock you. It's an orange.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever like truly felt pressured, but I've definitely like bought into the hype before.
Yeah, I for sure have bought things that I couldn't afford. Um, I'm like super proud to say that I'm debt-free credit card wise nowadays, but that was
Nice.
not always the case. And definitely fell into like I'd be at Ulta and I was like, you know what? I already have so much racked up. What's another $25?
Yep.
That is something that I will never do again, and don't. That is not something I would ever do again. So
I was able, with the exception of like federal loan, was able to get debt free when we sold our house
mhm.
and moved here. I now have like one card that I'm using,
That's what
which
I do too.
unfortunately has racked up some courtesy of coronavirus not being employed. Um, but it's still like I'm trying to keep on top of it, and it's a
Yeah.
thing that I'll easily be able to resolve once I have, a regular paycheck again.
Yeah, I want to say the bulk of my issues were when we first bought our first house back in like 2014, 15, where I was just like, it's $25. It's like a drop in the bucket at this point. Why not? But that, again, like getting into debt to buy makeup is something that keeps me from trying a lot of new things, like the hourglass things I want to try, or like the liquid shadows that are $24. And it's just like, I'm not going to put myself in that position, so I don't try them.
Yeah. I'm all for like trying new things, but if you're buying makeup at the expense of not taking care of other responsibilities, like other
Yeah.
financial responsibilities, you need to like reevaluate that situation.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Um, at the end of the day, my financial well-being and like I guess health is way more important than another gold eyeshadow.
For sure. I see people all the time are like, "Oh, I bought the new eye palette. I don't know how I'm going to get food for the rest of the week." But like, I'm sorry, what? If you are struggling with financial stuff and you want to be better at it, I highly recommend Bravely. It's at We Bravely Go on Instagram, and also the Financial Diet, which I think is just the Financial Diet at Instagram or on
Mhm.
Instagram. But they're both great, both run by really fantastic women, and highly recommend checking them out.
Yeah, I follow the financial diet because of you. Really good content.
Yeah, Chelsea, is that her name? I think yes, Chelsea Fagan, I think is her name. I
Okay.
like audiobooked her the Financial Diet book last month, and it was pretty good. I wish I had had that when I was like in my early 20s.
Um, next question. This goes along with the one before it. That's why I'm like,
Yeah, no, makes sense.
do you purchase makeup for collector's reasons?
No,
Hell to the
I
nah.
nope. I mean, I have a makeup collection, or arsenal is what I usually call it, but I never buy anything just to like have all the things in a line or have all the things by a brand. That's not my jam.
Yeah, I'm not a completionist when it comes to makeup at all. There is one thing that I want to purchase for collector's reasons, and I know that I'm not going to be able to purchase it, not because I don't have the money to, and not because for any other reason than that the brand only made 50 of them. That My Chemical Romance,
Oh,
there's an indie brand that they teamed up with a lettering artist, so it's like beautifully designed, and it's a My Chemical Romance themed eyeshadow palette. And like, do I need it? Not really at all. But like the packaging is gorgeous, and it's My Chemical Romance, and there's like a makeup bag and like stickers that all go with it, and like I really want that, but I'm not going to be able to get it because the indie brand said they're making 50 of them, and there were like 1,000 people that liked the post. So even if just a fraction of them try to buy it, I'm
are,
not going to
are
be
you
the
gonna try?
fraction. No, I will look that day to see if there's any left, but if I hop on at like noon and they're gone, c'est la vie. I'm not waking up for the release date.
I used to set an alarm on my phone for new melt stuff.
I think I did that for one thing, but I don't remember what it was.
I think I like very briefly tried to be like completionist for
Yeah,
melt stacks, but I ended up with like three that I didn't really like and never used, and I sold them, and then I
the
stopped
gunmetal
fucking
one.
doing that.
Yeah.
Gunmetal, Haze, and She's in Parties.
Yeah.
Well, I was already past completionist. I just thought that I would really like the She's in
That
Party stack, but
seemed like a very you one.
For being like relatively cool toned, I think like cool toned eyeshadows just like so mesh with my skin tone that I always just look like I have a bruise. Like I just look like
fair.
I have a black eye. So yeah, that's a no on purchasing makeup for collector reasons.
Also
yes.
no, except for this one thing that's coming out in a couple of days, which like honestly, I don't do this for anything else, but this one thing just feels like something that I would like to
The
have.
MCR thing?
Yes.
Well, I took for collector reasons in like buying the Vault collection
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh no, I won't buy like a vault or anything like that.
Or like when Dose of Colors did the Desi and Katie collab, like people bought the whole thing.
Yeah, that's not something that I'm after. I'm not buying all the naked palettes. I'm not buying the ColourPop monochromatic palettes. I'm not completing a collection of something, and I'm not buying something because an influencer collab with them. But My Chemical Romance.
I think it's a forgivable one because I know my sister's gonna hear this and be like, "Holy shit, I want it."
Well, tell her she's listening. There's only 50, so good luck. Set an alarm.
In your makeup journey, have you become less or more consumeristic?
Far less.
Yeah.
Yeah, much more research based, despite my occasional sporadic purchases that'll never stop. But yeah, I don't buy much anymore. My collection is very small. I have one foundation for my one face. I have like 2 or 3 blushes. You know, the only thing I really enjoy buying are eyeshadow palettes and like other eye stuff. But yes, I have toned down the consumerism by like 99% since I got into makeup. What about you?
Completely agree. I mean, I certainly have a larger collection now, but I also have a more refined. I don't know if that's the right word.
It is.
I'm looking at all my stuff because I record like at my makeup table. I think the vast majority of my lipsticks were purchased between 2016 and 2017. I think the vast majority of my brushes were purchased 2017 or earlier. I own a lot, but I use a lot of it.
You do.
Like I often challenge myself to use different products.
And you know what you like.
I typically once or twice a year do a lipstick challenge and make myself wear a different lipstick every day for 30 days.
Those were fun. You like
Instagram.
inspired me to do it.
I really have tons of fun doing those. I usually like photograph them all, and maybe I'll do one on on the Beauty Birds podcast Instagram once I
like in the stories.
leave my house again.
I'll join you with that one.
Do you want to do it anyway?
Yeah. Let's make a challenge.
Okay. Starting May 1st?
Yeah, I'm not ready.
We'll do the whole month of May?
Yeah.
Okay. We might not follow up on that guy, sorry. But maybe.
But you guys should do it too, and if we do it, do it. And if we stop doing it, keep doing it.
Yeah. But yes, I would say genuinely less consumeristic, definitely more thought into what I'm buying, where I'm buying it.
Yeah.
The ingredients that are in it. I do a lot more research. I have a lot more moral things. Rules. I don't know the word. There's a lot of things that I like stick to when purchasing things. Again, there's a great, I mean, I wrote it, so I feel weird saying great, but there's
it is great.
Educated consumerism post on the Beauty Birds podcast blog, and I reread it before I put it on the blog, and you know, a lot of that stuff is still true, and that's from a couple years ago.
Yeah, I like where we are with makeup. Honestly, I feel like we've come a very long way from like diving into it and just being like need it all, and honestly just like trusting beauty gurus reviews
less.
Well, yeah, when I first started following makeup and like buying makeup, I didn't know that they could be sponsored. I didn't, take everything with a grain of salt. I kind of just was like, well, she loves it, so I might love it.
Exactly.
And I'm really happy with my spending now and my collection now, how small it is compared, excuse me, to when I first started. And yeah, I'm just happy with my makeup and how I buy makeup and how I look at makeup.
I have, in terms of like traditional eyeshadow palettes, 9.
Okay.
1, 8. No, 9. Um, the crazy thing is I think that there are a lot of younger people out there who love the YouTube influencers who like, what I have is a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. Like I have like 5 or 6.
Well, I say 9, but 4 of them are the tiny Huda ones.
Mm,
And then 3 of them are melt.
I'm not counting my Z palettes, which are like 3 of them. So
Oh, I didn't
total,
count my melt stacks.
oh, I'd say like total
I said
eyeshadow wise.
traditional eyeshadow palette.
Well, I'm not counting any of my like super shock shadows or like singles, but like Z palettes, I'm counting.
That is to say, yes, less consumeristic. Yes, a lot more thought goes into what I'm buying. And I guess to some extent, my mom was also right in that I do still have a huge amount of products that I purchased at the height of my spending that I'm still often using. Like, I still remember when I first ordered the Dose of Colors Stone liquid lipstick.
Yeah.
I use that thing constantly.
There was so much hype around that one. Lime Crime Cashmere.
Yes, I have that as well.
Still one of my favorite liquid lipsticks of all time.
I actually, maybe it's in one of my bags. I was gonna grab Stone and I don't know where it is. Now I'm like, Lime Crime Cashmere.
It's still a great liquid lipstick.
And I'm pretty sure that I had this definitely in 2017, possibly end of 2016. But yeah, I spend less. I'm happier with what I own, and I try to be smarter about my purchases.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I know I say I wish I had more to spend on makeup, but like I have disposable income to buy makeup and I don't buy the things that I tell you I want. So I don't think I really want them at the end of the day. And I like how small my collection is, and if I had 12 different Stila, liquid shadows, I don't know that I would use a lot of them. So I don't know.
If you are going to spend the money and you're like excited to buy something, fine if you have the money to do it. But if you're buying a thing and then like you don't feel good after you order it, stop buying it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I could have bought the Melt Radioactive palette today when I was placing my order. And actually with the 20% off, it would have been like under $40, I think.
But you've seen it in person and know that it sucks?
I don't know that it sucks, but I have the radioactive stack and like I just didn't feel good about it. I knew it wasn't going to feel good when I ordered it. And like, great, I would have it. And then I would never use it. And then I'd be pissed about it.
Yeah.
So I went wild. And then the only makeup I bought was an eyebrow pencil.
I like that though. That's like a happy ending to a story. All right. That was a fun tag.
Yeah, I like that. I think it was a good like critical thinking one.
Yeah.
Critical thinking, critical shopping, critical evaluation of our consumerism.
So yeah, tell us on social media what your makeup journey was like, because I don't know if everybody did the same thing that we did, where like we came in hot with makeup, bought everything, and then fizzled out a little bit. I don't know. Is that what a lot of people do? Is that?
Yeah. Do you buy more now as you've like gotten more experienced, or have you cooled it on your purchases?
So yeah, go ahead and follow us. Everything that we talk about for the most part is always listed on beautybirdspodcast.com. All of the latest episodes and everything are there with all of our links, all of our info. So check that out, and then follow us on Instagram at Beauty Birds Podcast, where we always post in our stories, and Beka is really funny. And we are, I don't know, I feel like you're posting really great stuff in our stories and like keeping us all.
You post good stuff too. I appreciate your rants.
You know what? Thanks. I rant. And then Beka does an amazing job at keeping the Facebook updated at /Beauty Birds Podcast.
Twitter at BeautyBirdsPod.
Thanks for taking over.
And Instagram, but also beautybirdspodcast.com, where we have a corresponding blog post for every episode, and also my educated consumerism write-up.
An amazing write-up.
Thanks. We're such a good team. Stay safe, stay home, wash your hands, listen to us, or watch us on YouTube if you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.